So now that we've checked out the documentation page for the light sensor, we know that awesome.lightsensor.reading will return or get converted into a sensor reading when Arduino runs the function. Let's use this function as the input into the serial.println or println function. We did the same thing with the knob and the toggle switch when we were exploring how they worked. And as usual, we should add a delay function in. This will tell Arduino to pause after sending us each serial message, which will give us a little time to read that message. I'm going to use a delay of 500 milliseconds, or half a second. Type this code into your Arduino IDE, and then upload it to your Arduino. Pause the video and unpause when your code is uploaded. Now that your code is uploaded, you can open the serial monitor by clicking the little magnifying glass in the top right-hand corner of the Arduino IDE. This window shows us the light sensor readings, which Arduino is sending to our computer through the serial connection. Try changing the amount of light that's hitting the light sensor and seeing how the numbers change. You can do this by closing your box or shining a light at the light sensor. Okay, now I'm going to show you a really cool feature of the Arduino IDE that we haven't used yet. Close the serial monitor window. Open the Tools menu, which is in the top bar on a Mac, or in the menu bar of the Arduino IDE window on a Windows computer. In the Tools menu, click Serial Plotter. This plotter creates a plot or a graph. You might have seen something similar in school. It's showing you a live graph of the sensor readings over time. As the Arduino IDE gets a new value from Arduino through the serial connection, it adds that value to this plot on the right-hand side. The higher up a reading is, the higher the value for that reading is. There are marks on this line here, the vertical axis, showing you what the value of the readings are at. So the current reading is at about 108 or 109. You might notice that the sensor readings fluctuate or bounce around near a certain value. This is totally normal. If I close the box, the value goes down. That's because the box is stopping most of the light in the room from hitting the light sensor. There's quite a bit of time in between each sensor reading. Let's look at our code again. What can we do to our code to make Arduino take sensor readings more often? We want Arduino to wait for less time between each reading. So we can decrease the length of the delay, or we can get rid of the delay altogether. Let's do that. Okay, let's upload this new code and then open the serial plotter again. Remember, the plotter is in Tools and then Serial Plotter. This time the plot is moving a lot faster. That's because Arduino is sending the light sensor readings as fast as it can over the serial connection. Now that the plotter is moving faster, we can see a few more things about how it works. The plotter can only fit 500 values from left to right. When the plotter window gets full, it starts scrolling so that it can keep showing us new values. It adds new values on the right, just like it did before. But now when it adds a new value, it moves all the old values to the left a bit, and the oldest value, the farthest to the left, disappears. So the newest reading is always on the right-hand side of the plotter, and the oldest values are always on the left-hand side. Another good thing to know is that the plotter changes the range of values it's showing you to fit all the data that it has. Right now, the highest value that it can show is 5, and the lowest value that it can show is -5. Remember, the plotter can only fit the last 500 readings, so it looks at the last 500 readings, and it picks a range of values that fits all those readings inside. If a reading was bigger than 5, or lower than -5, it wouldn't fit on this graph. It would be somewhere up here, or down here. The plotter will always adjust to make sure that we can see all the values that it needs to plot. So if it gets a new reading that is outside this range, it'll adjust the range to fit that new value. The box has been closed for the last little while, so all the values are at 0. If we open the box, we'll see the plotter adjust the range of values that it's showing us. Now that we've opened the box, the light sensor is reading values that are just below 120. But it still has a bunch of values that are around 0. So it's showing us the whole range of values between 0 and 120. But remember, it's always adding a new value and losing the oldest value. So at some point, all the values that it's showing us, the last 500 values, will be around 120. It won't be showing us any values at 0 anymore. At this point, it adjusts the whole range to be around 120. Okay, now that you know how the plotter works, try experimenting with the light sensor and seeing how its readings changed. Increase or decrease the amount of light that is hitting your light sensor to change the readings. You can do this by covering it up, casting a shadow on it, holding it up to a light source, like a computer screen, but be careful not to scratch your screen, or shining a bright light at it. Wondering how the light sensor actually works? Well, we're going to explore that in the next video.